Any thoughts?
It's not. What's the band that emulates them?
I'm sorry?
Hold on, I'm trying to think. Hang on.
I like how you tell me who it's not.
Well,
That is process of elimination.
No,
now just get through every other band that it's not. The song is called Four Sticks because the drummer was playing with 2 pair of drumsticks. They took it quite literally, I guess. Very, very famous band.
Led Zeppelin.
Now, see, I knew you would get it because you guess every band at some point is Led Zeppelin. So,
No, I usually
all
say
things
Lynyrd.
being... I'm sorry?
No, I usually
Well, no,
say
Lynyrd Skynyrd too, but if I throw you something that's got a little bit more of a rock edge to it, you'll usually throw Led Zeppelin at me.
No, I know what this sounds like because the guy that is in that band that your Gwen's family is friends with from Michigan. What's the name of the band?
Greta Van Fleet.
Greta Van Fleet. They sound a lot like...
I always want to call them
Led
Kings of
Zeppelin.
Leon, but they're Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah, and that...
Kishka Brothers.
They sounded like them, so...
Yes, right. Although I think they've kind of changed up their sound a little bit because even they were getting sick of doing Led Zeppelin ripoffs. But anyway...
But they have that look even because
Yes.
when they were here last year, everybody going to the show looked like they were going to a Zeppelin show. Like it was that fashion.
And listen,
hey,
if you're a kid, you don't know what the hell happened in 1972, so you might as well.
Like it and you're like, hey, this is... I get to live a version of this, so I'm going
Right.
to do it. And I have no problem with that.
Every generation's been living some version of Led Zeppelin.
Hot
or knows
hippie
what
chicks
they
with their
did before
boobs
Led
out?
Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Well, it is funny to see girls like my daughter's age. She's 19. Where all of the 90s fashions are back.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's big jeans and crop tops and...
The chunky shoes.
Yeah. Everything old is new again, my
I hate
friends.
a chunky shoe.
You hate a chunky shoe.
I do.
I don't really like it either.
How do you feel about chunky soup?
I had jambalaya the other day. That was pretty good.
Jambalaya. Boy, jambalaya, that's one of those soups you really have to work to screw it up. Because you can just throw stuff in there, and if you get the heat right, you can have a fantastic jambalaya. Mary, that's something you could sip on the subway.
It is not. Unless it is void of shrimp.
I was going to say, it is chunkier. Oh, right. You can't have the shellfish. Ah, see, that's part and parcel of a good jambalaya.
I know it is.
It's a bummer. You can't just go with the andouille.
Nope.
Well, anyway, Jimmy Page, of course, the legendary guitarist of Led Zeppelin, is 80 years old today. So just for shrimps and giggles, I'm going to be coming back with a lot of Led Zeppelin today just because I want to. But it's, he's 80 years old. Of course, everybody is taking the time to send in their tributes today.
I don't know about you, but my 401k made $7,000 this quarter, so every day I get stronger. No matter what, I get stronger.
Brian checking in, I assume, with his tribute to... What the hell 401k does he have, by the way?
He's doing a 401k flex on us.
401k? Dude just calls all day long. What is he doing? Where's he get a 401k? Well, anyway, thank you,
That's a
Brian.
pretty good quarter for you, Brian.
It
Good
sure
job, bud.
is. $7,000. God damn. Well done. Yeah. Well, I can only assume that that's his tribute to the great Jimmy Page. And if you're a Led Zeppelin fanboy, you don't want to hear any mess when it comes to that band. Of course, the late Eddie Van Halen famously thought that Jimmy Page was very sloppy live. He said Jimmy Page is an excellent producer. Led Zeppelin 1 and 2, those are classic albums. He's very good in the studio, but he never played well live. He's very, very sloppy if he saw Led Zeppelin live. He said he plays like he's 2 years old and he's got a broken hand. And so if you can put out good albums, but then you play live like you got a broken hand, what's the purpose? Eddie Van Halen, who basically reinvented the art form of playing a guitar, and the two of them ended up like being very good friends. I don't know that Jimmy Page took it personally. He probably knew that there was a lot of truth to that. As revered as Jimmy Page is, I don't know that you'll meet a lot of guitar players and they'll go, oh, my main influence is Jimmy Page. But undeniably, a legendary guitar player. And 80 years old today.
That's old.
That is old. But, hope that we all get there, I guess, if you want to. If you don't want to get to 80, then I hope you die before that. with peace and love. Hope you die before you hit 80. The Who never wanted to get old. They specifically and publicly were on record as wanting to shuffle off their mortal coil before they got old.
But then
they went on a 50th anniversary tour, and it wasn't meant to be. You know, that's the indignity of youth. It's something that you say, I'm never going to be like my parents, and everybody ends up being like their parents. To some degree, if not in tone, then in some other areas. A lot of things that you say you'll never do. Speaking of shuffling off the mortal coil, I want to thank our studio mate, the great Mark Nolan. You want to talk about legends? Mark Nolan, who hosts the Magic Morning Show in this room. He sent me a photo this morning. Consider the fly's mortal coil shuffled. Sent me a photo.
Hell yeah.
He killed the fly that had been
Mark, thank you.
in here.
Good job, Mark.
I thanked him profusely
good
on the text, and then when I got in, I thanked him profusely in person. Because once we moved studios from the street side more towards the guts of the floor here, we didn't really have to deal with flies. And then we had one in here yesterday, and it was really distracting and aggravating and the whole bit. But our own Marcus Aurelius Nolan, I believe that's his full name, killed that fly, sent it off into the great beyond. That tiny winged beast is no longer in here to bother us. I've got $1,000 for you. I don't care how Brian's 401k is doing. I want to give you some money. It's courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie, so you get one of these every hour. So listen closely, and I hope you win.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Grand. That's grand. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
I'm going to burp. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. Alan, I need an update on Poundcake's car. Is there an update on Poundcake's car?
Oh, I didn't announce it. I drove myself to work today. Yeah, I got it back.
No, he didn't say that.
Yeah.
Boy, it's a day of big news. Mary discovered the umbrella condom.
We're doing it.
Poundcake got his car back. And how is that? It's like being in high school again, right? You got your independence back.
Yes.
How's the car look?
Well, it's repaired, so it looks the way it did before. They even cleaned it out a little bit.
Did they replace any dings that might have been there before? Any slight dings? Oh, they didn't.
No, they repaired.
There's no body work that they did, right?
No.
It was just they put the ignition back in
they
order.
didn't smash your car up at all.
No.
It took that long for them to replace the steering column?
Yes.
Wow. Oh, that was all insurance then.
No, not all of it.
Going back and forth.
Just parts or whatever they may need. Just because there's no body work doesn't mean they don't have to like import parts or whatever. And also,
it's something that gets stolen all the time. So I imagine parts are
back ordered.
Yeah.
And it was at a particular time of the year where everyone is working, like
off work. Yeah.
Yeah, they're off work. It was like right before Christmas break, so that probably, held it back a little bit.
I went to get my car again this morning with nothing done to it. I've taken it to this place a couple of times, and I won't blow them up because they couldn't charge me anything because they didn't do anything. But I've taken it to this place on 2 separate occasions where they've had it there for 2 or 3 days. And I don't get any update, any progress. I got a call, and they go, we're waiting to find out. I go, guys, you're not giving me any new information. If I didn't call you guys, you just sit there and hang on to my car. I'm like, I need to get around. They go, I just went in this morning. I call them first thing this morning. I go, hey, because I called yesterday before the show. I said, I'm looking for an update. The guy goes, I'll see what's going on. I'll call you back. Cool. Never heard back. So I called them this morning as soon as they opened. Hey, talk to somebody else. Let me go check. Fine. I said to Gwen, an hour later, we're dropping our daughter off at school. I go, just drive me over there. I'm just going to go get my car. And it's like, I don't know what's going on with some of these places. They go, well, it's either this or this. I know that. I know it's either this or this. And I was waiting for them to put an invoice in front of me, and I would have flipped my ever-loving shrimp if they had done that. Because, listen, there's labor and there's things, but I'm like, you guys didn't do anything, so I just need it back because I need to be driving around.
I remember.
I can't have it sit there for 3 days. I don't know what they think people are doing where they're just like, oh, yeah, we'll call you. What? People got to get around, man. You got a what?
When I had my old car, I remember I had my Dodge Caliber, and I didn't know what the hell was going on with it. There was a bunch. Any given time, lights would come on, and then they would go off periodically, and I was like, "What the hell?" And so I took it into the shop because it was a part of like my deal where I got free maintenance.
Your service agreement.
Yeah, service agreement. And I sat there for probably about an hour or two, and they were like, "All right." It was almost like a situation where you call an information line and you got to like get past like the paywall for them to tell you. Guy comes back and he's like, we know what's wrong with your car, but there is a $100 diagnosis fee or whatever. I'm like,
Diagnostic.
Diagnostic, not diagnosis.
Root word is the same. Yes.
Yeah, he was like $100 diagnostics fee. I said, okay. And he was like, "Are you okay with adding that to your tab?" I'm like, "Okay, sure." And so
yeah, if they diagnose something, that's the thing.
He took it back, and he took it back. He was like, "Yeah, there's some rodent, like some I don't know if it was a raccoon or some type of a possum or something chewing on the wires underneath my car." So then he had to fix that. I'm like, "Bruh." I didn't want to say. I'm not going to say what I did say because it was very derogatory. But I said it in front of a lot of.
Did you call him the N-word?
No.
Say it the best you can.
Wait, you called somebody a name?
No. I didn't call him a name. I said because I said diagnosis, not diagnostics, and I was like, for a $100 diagnosis fee, it better have a terminal disease. And I said,
you did
in front of like a lot of people, and people were like laughing.
That's funny.
I was pissed. I'm like, bro.
That's good, though.
That's a good line.
You weren't being angry. You got a good line off.
Yeah, but yeah, so there was some possum or something underneath the fence that was like, it would lay underneath my car. I don't know if it was cooler or warmer, but it would lay underneath there and it would chew on my wires. So my fuel line was all messed up. The cables, like to my lights were all messed up. And so everything was just, any given time, my dashboard would be like a Christmas tree and it would just light up. I'm like, damn it. But
That's all mine was. There's a light that's on. And I've taken it in a couple of separate times. And I know what the issue is because we know exactly what that light means. And the first time I took it a couple of weeks ago, they go, "Oh, we're going back and forth." We had to call the manufacturer and talk to their engineers because we can't figure out why this is throwing this code. And I have a code reader at home. So I'm like, I know the code already. I just need to figure out what this is because I don't want to drive around like this. Okay, we'll look at it. 3 days go by, nothing. I go, I'm coming to pick it up. So like flash forward 2 weeks, I do it again. I go, hey, they go, well, we might have a bit more information. Great. Take it in 3 more days, nothing. I go, guys, I'm just, please go get my keys. I got to get the hell out of here. But I'm going to have to bring it in again because it's still not fixed.
But why do you keep going to them though?
Because this is the place that 2 years ago fixed the part that is now throwing the sensor. So I don't want to go somewhere else and have to start from scratch.
Is this the same place that broke your seashell?
No, that was a detailing place.
Oh, okay.
This is a dealership.
Okay.
And because I initially took it to Conrad's, and they go, no, this is kind of above our thing here. And I go, okay, cool. So I took it to the place that, again, everybody's got a story like this, but it can be very frustrating.
You're not a Yelp review guy? You're not
No.
Leave the 1 star?
I'm not even nasty to them when I go in. I go, please go get it. And they're like, oh, let me see what they're doing. I go, I need it. I'm going to work. Like Gwen took me to work yesterday and picked me up. I'm like, she doesn't, nobody needs that. When it's just sitting there and you guys are giving me no information. And if you want to get a rental or a loaner, there's so much red tape now. It used to just be they go, oh, here's this. So much red tape. Oh, we'll hear back from your insurance company. I'm like, I'm not doing this. And you think about people that have one car. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. I don't know if there's families with one car, but there have to be.
Heck,
I'm sure there are.
I don't know. It's way easier to get a car than it is for like a decent house. I see people in the hood with BMWs and Mercedes and all types of stuff. So it can't be that hard to get a car. You can get a nice car with really bad credit. Your interest
rate. You can put it on a lot of cash.
Well, yeah, if you want to spend,
or you can pay like an incredible interest rate.
If you want to spend $500 a month on a Toyota Tercel, you can. But
I'm telling you, from people that I know, people much rather have a nice car than have a nice house because most people are not seeing how other people live. But you got to see them in their car all the time. So for appearances wise, like for appearance purposes, they are driving around in a BMW or a Mercedes to just put up a front.
That's so silly.
It's silly, but it's what they do.
Like but you're not living in your car. Like, what's the big flex if you have a super nice car that you can in no way afford?
Well, because I think a lot of people, it's the only time where they're by themselves. They're either going to work or coming home from work, and they have a bunch of kids. Not everyone is going to, if you have 3 kids at home and a wife, and you're the only person that's like working full time, you're not going to have like a crazy nice house or all new furniture or whatever. So the car, you can make it your own, and you're the only one that drives it.
Yeah, but you're paying out the ass for something you can't afford. Like, the reason I drive a Ford Fusion is because I live below my means.
But you have a nice house.
I don't have a
I
don't have a hospital-sized house, though. It's just me and my wife and my kid. We don't have a huge house.
Well, you live below your means. Also, you're not. Poundcake's come from a mindset of someone that's trying to impress people with their belongings, and that is not who you are or ever have been.
But even still, I think a lot of people they see
right. But I guess my question is, eventually, when that car gets repoed.
It might not
then
get
what do you
repoed.
do? How does it not?
Because if they have money, say if you have $5,000 a month to put towards your living expenses and whatever bills you got to pay, they'll say, "Oh, I can get on Section 8 or welfare with my house. My rent is only."
So the money all goes to the car.
I was gonna say, I only pay $1,000 worth of utilities a month. The rest of that can go. I can pay $4,000 for my BMW or my Range Rover.
Well, it's a wonder people never have any money.
I'm just saying. That is how it be sometimes.
I was reading an article. It was one of these investment websites, and it said, "Are you a Dink or a Henry?" And I knew what Dink was. I'd never heard of Henry. And they were talking Dink. Do you guys know what Dinks are in financial?
Double income, no kids.
That's right. Double income, no kids. It's the dream, right? A Henry is high earner, not rich yet. And they're like, there are a lot of people who make a lot of money, but they spend it all on stuff. They get a really nice car. They buy a huge house. And so it's like they can cover everything. But if any leg of the stool falls away, they're screwed. And I'm like, that's wild. And that sounds not necessarily what Poundcake's talking about, but people who are like living above, make a lot of money, but are still like
these people that have like the luxury cars. They're not even Henrys. They're not like high earners. They just put everything. It's just like when people don't
financially
have food.
illiterate,
irresponsible.
Well, I'm just saying that like the mindset though is kind of the same. It's relative to the income, but the mindset is kind of the same. People who, when they make money, their lifestyle goes along with it, which is normal. I mean,
that's something I had to adjust to with this job. It was the first time that I was making money, and then and I'm sure Mary had a moment with this too, where once you start making money on a regular basis, you go, oh, I can buy this. Oh, I can buy this. And you got to really reel that in because it can get out of control real fast.
No, I had the opposite because you make more money than I do. So I make the amount of money in a week that I was making at one bartending shift. So I was used to having a ton of cash.
No, but I'm talking about
me.
like when you've had you've made good money doing stand-up though.
Yeah, but that's different because like this job, getting paid every other week.
Also, I don't make that much more money than you at this job, by the way.
Bill, you're not making $400 a week.
I'm not making much more than you. That's all I'm saying.
But my point is that going from having cash on me every single day and knowing I could just pick up a shift and make more cash to having nothing for 13 days and then getting paid, that was a huge, huge adjustment for me. Was because I was like afraid to spend it, or on payday I'd be like, oh, okay, now I can go do this, this, and this, and then 10 days later I'd be like, damn, there's no more money. There's just no more money for 4 more days. What is that?
Well, it's wild. Okay, so Poundcake has his car back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's where he started.
It is. That person wanted an update on Poundcake's whip. Have you named your car?
No.
Okay.
I did.
Nope.
What's your car's name?
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Well, because you got that brand new muscle car. Yeah. I'm going to break here. If you want to send a text, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com. You can watch live. You can listen wherever you are on the iHeartRadio app.
Buzzard Radio.
The Buzzard.
He's Rover.
I get